A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, once again, and it's really nice to see everyone here at the next interesting session of the Research Week 2025. So this session would be something interesting. It's more of a competition that we are going to witness here today, which we called here as the 3MT Challenge. So today we have 5 finalists, and today will be the final day of the 3MT Challenge. And all these competitors will be going through the daunting task of explaining their research in a concise and meaningful way within 3 minutes. So all the contestants here are either in their second year of the MPhil or the PhD programs. So this is their lifelong works that they're presenting here within 3 minutes in a concise and meaningful way so that we would be able to coherent and understand it properly. So let's see how it's going to go. We wish all the very best for all the contestants. And now I cordially invite Dr. Chamira Edusuriya to guide us through this session and elaborate us more about what's happening here and what are the rules and regulations, and to brief you about the 3MT Challenge. Over to you, sir.
So good morning to everyone. I am honored to be on this stage for the 4th time. And I will quickly go through the brief overview of the 3MT competitions and the rules and guidelines and other relevant details. Since we are a little bit late and behind the schedule, we will quickly go through. So first, I would like to welcome all of you to the final round of the University of Moratuwa 3MT competition. So I'm not planning to repeating the same thing I have mentioned in the last years as well. Actually, we all know at this point that the 3-minute thesis competition has been originated in Australia, in fact, at the University of Queensland, thanks to a natural disaster. And they had a serious water shortage during 2008, and they were requested to limit their bar to 3 minutes. So the Dean of Faculty of Graduate Studies at the University of Queensland came with this idea, and it has been then propagated into other universities in Australia as well as New Zealand by 2010. And by now, all over around more than 80 countries in the world and more than 900 institutions in the world are conducting 3-minute thesis competitions. At the University of Moratuwa, with the Research Week, we have conducted the first 3-minute thesis competition in 2022 that was limited only to the graduate students from the University of Moratuwa, and 2023 onwards, we have expanded this as a national event. The competition rules, so they are pretty much similar to the world competition rules, and we have used exactly the same. Competitors have been gone through this through, but I will briefly mention. So they can use a single static PowerPoint slide and no slide transitions, animations, or movement, or any descriptions. No additional electronic media, no additional props. Presentations are limited to exactly 3 minutes, and the competitors exceeding 3 minutes are disqualified. So we will show a 3-minute countdown timer at this place, both the competitor and the judges could see. Presentation are to commence from the stage, and we consider that the presentation have started when the presenters start their presentation through verbal or a movement. The decision of the panelists are final. The judging criteria, in fact, we consider 2 parts. One is the comprehension and content. The second one is the engagement and communication. So we consider both aspects, giving the marks for the competitors. And actually, they are very comprehensive rules. So I'm not going through all the things. But mainly we consider the comprehension and content as well as engagement and communication. Mainly we see whether a researcher could present his or her usually 60,000 to 80,000 theses within 3 minutes so that a layperson can understand. We have attractive prizes. In addition to the certificates, we plan to award 25,000 rupees for the winner and the 17,500 rupees for the first runner-up, as well as is 12,500 for the second runner-up. Also, we have the People's Choice Award that also is valid, worth 12,500 rupees. This is the exciting one, and in addition to the best performances, the audience also could engage with the competitors, and we have People's Choice Award, and the audience could mark their preference, and I request audience to mark only one. Don't mark two. If you mark two, it will be not valid. Now our volunteers will distribute the ballot papers so that you can mark your preference when you listen to their presentations. Even though we plan to have 7 candidates for the final round, unfortunately 2 could not attend today due to the recent natural disaster Sri Lanka faced. So we have only 5 competitors in the final round. Judging panel, and similar to the last few years, there is no preference. I am going through the alphabetical order of the faculties. Starting from the Faculty of Architecture, we have Professor Kanchana Pereira. From the Faculty of Business, Dr. Tiloka De Silva. And from the Faculty of Engineering, Professor Buddhika Jayasekara. They will serve as a judging panel for the final round. Okay, let's move into the presentations. I know that you want to listen to them, not to me. So therefore, I will keep my descriptions to short. We'll move into the presentations. First, we will have Ms. K.P.N. Bhagya, representing Department of Textile and Apparel Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, University of Moratuwa.
In the field of cultural, social science, humanities, religions, do you know, one question remains insufficiently answered. Can tradition meet tomorrow? Have you ever think that our traditional costume can reach just like the Japanese kimono industry and South Korean hanbok market, which is valued $100 billions annually? How did they succeed? Around the world, these traditional costumes are not just a clothing. They have become profitable niche markets. Their design practices standardized, documented, and preserved. Even Sri Lankan traditional costume sector can operate as a niche market. It's not properly identified, and its profitability lags behind comparable to global niche market. This is where my PhD comes to find solution, and my research journey started with documenting design and product development process of traditional costume, which consists 13 steps, and transforming most relevant element into a web-based design toolkit, which is elaborated with the AI technology. This toolkit will standardize design process, guide authentic product development, assist academic, support artisans and designers, achieve 11th and 12th SGD goal, and support the cultural tourism. By adopting qualitative research method, I conducted 48 semi-structured interviews with traditional costume artisans and photo elicitation and retrospective interviews with traditional Kandyan elite families, those who have signed Kandyan Convention in 1850. All these collected data were analyzed using NVivo 12 to create a design toolkit which was face validated. After all, you may wonder why this work is so much important. Because tradition survives, only it adapted and continues to be practiced in real time. This toolkit transforms traditional knowledge into a practical, repeatable process that can access around the world. This toolkit strengthened the Sri Lankan traditional costume niche market and delivered benefits to the elite consumers, modern consumers, artisans, designers, and a wider cultural economy. Simply, I'm documenting the past, design the present, strengthen the future. Thank you.
Okay, next we will move into Ms. H.A. Virachi, representing the Department of Material Science and Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, University of Moratuwa.
Raise your hand if you or your loved one has struggled with a broken bone. Now meet Maya and Ella. A month ago, both met with different accidents, broke their legs, admitted to the same hospital, same ward. And it was truly surprising how much they had in common from their age to their fracture. When it comes to their surgeries, both fractures has fixed using a nail, which is known as intramedullary nail, in shortened IM nail. Before their surgeries, the doctor recommended to use our new innovation, the paper-thin laminate, mentioning that the laminate should be placed in contact with fracture site on top of IM nail, which will speed up the recovery. Though Ella agreed, Maya chose to stick with the normal procedure. So here's where the difference begins. In Maya's situation, broken bone heals naturally, while the nail simply stabilizes the fracture. Our bones naturally use tiny electrical signals, which is known as bioelectricity, for repair themselves, signals that tells us to grow, divide, change into other forms and lay down calcium. After bad fracture, that signal is weak, so fracture healing takes time. But in Ella's situation, our laminate sits quietly inside her body. She only have to gently place our laminate on her skin near the fracture for a short moment each day. Through that, gentle magnetic field is applied to the laminate from outside. Our laminate is made out of two smart material in sandwich manner. Outer material responds to that applied magnetic field and change its shape. That shape change puts stress in the middle material, and that stress tends to produce tiny electrical signals within the middle one, which will directly give to the fracture site as a therapeutical electrical signals. With the electrical nudge, bone cells multiply faster, deposit more calcium, more minerals, more structure, so heals faster. So, a month later, Maya, still in bed, still in pain, still in waiting game, while Ella begins to use her leg again. Back to life, back to movement. Same fracture, two parts. Our tiny innovation made the difference. So, a simple moving magnetic coil and a tiny laminate with ongoing fixation can give a fracture the electrical nudge to heal faster. Why should anyone like Maya ever have to wait so long? Thank you.
So let's move into the third researcher, Ms. J.K.W.N. Subhashini, representing Department of Horticulture and Landscape Gardening, Faculty of Agriculture and Plantation Management, Waimbwa University of Sri Lanka.
We all are super stressed out. Do you agree with me? If you are from a crowded and busy urban area, your stress level doubled. So, if you are from such a crowded and urban area, how you can release your stress? Of course, there are different ways and means of doing it. But I suggest feel the nature or contact with nature is the best way for it. Imagine about a small space with green plants, colorful flowers, butterflies going here and there, and you can hear some bird songs. I am pretty sure that you will argue with me that in urban areas, how we can find such places. But you do have such place. Your home garden. Your own home garden is the best place to contact with nature because it is the closest environment to you in your everyday life. Have you ever think of that? Many people do not think about their home gardens in that way, and they do not understand the value and the potential of these home gardens. Because of that, in my study, we wanted to study about the potential and the capacity of these home gardens, especially in urban areas. So in my study, targeting the 300 home gardens in urban areas, especially the topmost urbanized areas in Sri Lanka, Colombo and Gampaha, we noted and we observed really interesting things. If I highlighted some of the interesting things that we observed more than 500 different plant species, more than 35 different bird species, and 35 different butterfly species. You know what? Most importantly, some of these birds, some of these plants, and some of these butterflies can only be seen in Sri Lanka. They are endemic. You can see the potential and you can see the capacity. On the other hand, we noted that the composition, the management, and the practices and the things related to this small space segment highly depend on the social factors, economical factors, and knowledge level of the people as well. So if we can correctly identify these factors, and if we can correctly put these factors together, and if we can consider these factors in a serious way, we can use these small green spaces successfully in sustainable urban planning, sustainable urban green space management, and sustainable urban nature conservation projects. You may think that they are just green patches here and there, but these green patches together can create a large green mat over the urban areas to support the nature and people. So think about your home garden as a part of the nature and part of your well-being. Thank you.
So I have a small announcement, and in the ballot paper there are 7 names, but only 5 candidates will present today. So the 4th participant and the 7th participant will not attend. So only the first 3, according to this order, 5 and 6 will present their presentations today. So the 4th and the 7th participants will not present. Okay, let's go back again to the presentations, and our 4th researcher is Mr. K.H.K. Dharmadasa, representing Department of Building Economics, Faculty of Architecture, University of Moratuwa.
Breaking news. Sri Lanka reels under powerful waves of landslide and floods. Roads and rail lines are shut. Key mountain passes through the central regions are blocked after hillsides gave way. Rivers and reservoirs have overflowed, forcing entire villages to evacuate. The Disaster Management Center has reported that more than 600 people are dead and more than thousands of people have displaced due to this adverse weather condition caused by this past storm. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick recap of the recent climate crisis that we have faced recently. Such kind of disasters are inevitable. Because of these disasters, people get affected, lose their lives, properties, and homes. Have you all ever think of the communities who are going to be affected from those disasters, and how well are they resilient enough to face those disasters? That's why in my study, I have come up with a solution to measure the resilience level of communities across the disaster-prone areas in Sri Lanka using a 5-step approach. Step 1, I identified 88 global resilience indicators through the literature sources under key dimensions of community disaster resilience, such as social, economic, physical, governance, ecological, and health. Step 2, I refined them into 55 in number to the context of Sri Lanka with the help of experts in the disaster management field. As the step 3, I prioritized those indicators via a ranking method called Q methodology using 40 sorting interviews, and I identified the distinct viewpoints among the respondents by applying Q factor analysis. As the step 4, the TOPSIS, the multi-criteria decision-making tool, was applied for indicator aggregation, normalization, and derive the index. Finally, the index will be validated across the communities in Sri Lanka. All those prioritized indicators will be included into a single formula as I shown you here. In this formula, W represents the weightage of each indicator, I represents the respective community that we are considering, J is the applicable proxy measure, and V minus and V plus are the ideal and anti-ideal scenarios applicable to each indicator. So now the index is ready to utilize. Once you have this index in your hand, you will be able to measure the resilience level of communities across the geographical locations in Sri Lanka, and you will be able to take an understanding which communities are more resilient, which communities are highly vulnerable, and which areas need specific attention to improve the resilience level of communities, and which areas to look at to improve their capacities and resource allocation. If you are an investor or a disaster management practitioner who is willing to make provisions to upgrade the resilience level of communities, this will be the ideal tool for you to have in future. Last but not least, please make sure to keep in your mind, disasters continue to happen, but only the resilient communities will rise again and rise stronger. Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure that the judges will be in trouble, and we have seen very nice presentations and we cannot distinguish one after another. So let's move into our final presenter, Ms. A. Athukorala from Department of Chemistry, Faculty of Graduate Studies, University of Kelaniya.
Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, a man walked on a quiet beach in England. As he enjoyed his day, he noticed something on the sand, very tiny, colorful, countless fragments. He had a closer look. Oh no, Those were pieces of plastic. And that man was Professor Richard Thompson, a marine biologist who first named these tiny plastic particles as microplastics back in 2004. And that's how microplastics became a global wake-up call. They are really tiny, persistent, and can be found everywhere, from Arctic snow to the deepest reaches of ocean. And that's where my story begins. I focused on a very beautiful, economically important, a natural coastal lagoon ecosystem in Sri Lanka, which is Negombo Lagoon. So the main livelihood around the lagoon is fishing. So those are the fish available in our local markets, as well as the food on our dinner table. So my aim was to find out the extent of microplastic pollution in it. So I collected 160 commercial fish along with water and sediment samples from different parts of the lagoon. And in the lab, I separated the digestive tract and the gill and looked for microplastics. And then I found what I feared. Over half of the studied fish were contaminated with microplastics. Most dominantly, I observed blue color and transparent fibers. Also, I got to know that they are made up of polyethylene and polypropylene. Actually, fish mistaken them for food. Okay, and then comes the common question. So, do we eat the digestive tract and the gills of the fish? No, right? So, does it affect? Yes. The answer is it does, because microplastics can be absorbed into the muscle cells of the fish and move up the food chain from smaller fish to the larger predators and eventually to the human mass. Why so dangerous? Because microplastics are good carriers of toxic chemicals as well as pathogens. So according to the results of my study, microplastics have invaded the entire lagoon ecosystem, concluding that Negombo Lagoon could act as a zinc of microplastics. So based on my data, I can provide scientific evidences in order to take preventive steps and to raise awareness among the community. So the next time when you throw your used plastic bottle into the water, remember that it doesn't leave your life. It will come back to you bite by bite. Thank you.
Even though we had only 5 competitors, so the competition was actually very competitive, and so similar to the last years. And now let's go into a short break for the judges to deliberate, and also we will collect the ballot papers for the People's Choice Award.
That was a fantastic round, and we saw some 5 phenomenal speeches here. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we give a good round of applause to all competitors for their phenomenal speeches, 3MT challenge speeches. Doing their lifelong speech within a 3MT is no small feat. So despite the result that anyone present here, all the contestants that is present here is gonna get, you did matter in this stage. You did something different. You made sure that we understand your research very well, so we really appreciate that. Winning or losing, you did make some difference on this stage today, so we really appreciate it. We really appreciate that. Again, doing something like this is way more difficult, and we do have some of our past winners also on the stage, also on the audience. We do have last year's most popular winner, Mr. Lakshita Fernando, also on the stage. So these people know how hard it is to do something like this. So I am pretty sure everyone is eagerly waiting for the results. So I'll hand over back controls to our dear moderator to reveal the results.
Okay, so let's move into the most exciting part of the competition, and we observed a very competitive event, probably competitive than previous years, and I have seen that the judges had a very difficult job, and also for the People's Choice we had a very tight results. So first move into the People's Choice Award. The People's Choice Award goes to Mr. K.H.K. Dharmadasa. So we had a very tight competition, and so we will first announce the names of the winners and then move into the awards. Next, we will move into the second runner-up, The second runner-up goes to Miss KPN Bhagya. Next, we will move into the first runner-up. The first runner-up goes to JKWN Subhashini. Please have a round of applause. So I'm not an astrologer, but I could perfectly say that the winner is one of the remaining three. Okay, the winner of the UOM 3MT competition 2025 goes to Mr. KHK Dharmadasa. Please have a very round of applause. Okay, yeah, I would like to hand over to.
Many congratulations to all the winners. Now we are moving on to the awards ceremony. We'll start off with the most popular category. So to present the award for the most popular contestant of the 3MT challenge, I cordially invite Professor Buddhika Jayasekara onto the stage. Sir, please join us to present the award for the most popular candidate of the 3MT challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the most popular contestant, KHK Dharmadasa. Next, to present the award for the second runner-up, I cordially invite Dr. Tiloka De Silva onto the stage. Madam, please join us. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, join me in welcoming the second runner-up of the 3MT competition, KPM Bhagya. To present the award for the first runner-up, now let me call upon Senior Professor Kanchana Pereira onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first runner-up of the 3MT challenge organized by the University of Moratuwa, J.K. Subhashini. To present the award for the winner of the 3MT challenge, now I cordially invite Dean, Faculty of Engineering, Professor Jagat Manatunga onto the stage. Sir, please join us. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 3MT challenge organized by the University of Moratuwa in collaboration with SLAS, this is KHK Dharmadasa. I'm pretty sure everyone enjoyed the session, everyone learned something out of it, and there were another set of people who had a very daunting task of judging all these difficult speeches. I'm pretty sure the judgment was very close. So in appreciation of our dear judges, we are ready to present some token of appreciation as a gratitude. So let me call upon Professor Gayatri Ranatunga, the chairperson of the Research Week 2025, to present these tokens of appreciation. First of all, let me call upon Professor Buddhika Jayasekara on the stage to collect the token of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, a good round of applause for this. Next upon, I cordially invite Dr. Tiloka De Silva. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we give a good round of applause to Dr. Tiloka De Silva. Let me also call upon Senior Professor Kanchana Pereira also onto the stage to humbly collect our token of appreciation. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's give a good round of applause. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we will be concluding the 3MT challenge. We appreciate all efforts of all the team members, all the people who was behind this task, tirelessly working to push this off. And we also appreciate the contribution of our dear moderator, Dr. Chami Reddy Surya also. So ladies and gentlemen, as soon as we end this session,